There is a perfume in a luxury department store right now that costs $300. There is another perfume in a different store that smells 90% the same and costs $25. Same notes, same vibe, a fraction of the price. And the question everybody on YouTube, Reddit, and TikTok is asking is, should I buy the cheaper dupe? And is it legal? Because the dupe market is growing fast. So today, I'm gonna go through what is actually happening here. Why fragrance is uniquely vulnerable to duplication, the real difference between a dupe, a clone, an inspired by, and an original, and why the perfume industry is genuinely conflicted about this. And at the end of the video, I will tell you where I draw the line, and I wanna know where you draw the line. So before we get into the ethics, let's talk about why the dupe market even exists and why they're everywhere. So if you spend enough time on the internet, I'm on social media all the time, or on YouTube or on Reddit, you'll see a lot of conversations about comparing $300 bottles to $30 bottles, $500 bottles to $50 bottles. It's because the economic pressure is real. According to the business research company, the global perfume market is projected to hit $87 billion in 2026. But here's the more interesting number. The dupe perfume market specifically reached $3 billion in 2025 and is projected to grow at nearly 16% per year through 2035. That is roughly 6 times faster than the fragrance industry. Glossy did a report on this, and a founder of a dupe brand company said directly, one of the main reasons dupe culture has grown so much is because the luxury brands raise their prices so much. And that niche fragrances that used to be $180 are now $200, $250, $300, keeps going up. And consumers, especially Gen Z and millennials who have less buying power than the generations that bought niche fragrances before them, have started looking for alternatives. And then perfume talk happened. If you go back to the pandemic time, fragrance conversations grew so much online. Fragrance had always been online on like YouTube and Reddit, like with aficionados, but the rise of short form videos, specifically perfume talk, really changed that. On TikTok, you would find, this smells like Baccarat Rouge, and those videos go viral. And now dupe discovery was so easy. You didn't have to go to Saks or Neiman or your favorite department store to smell like your favorite perfume. You could just type on social media looking for a dupe for X, and you can find so many videos with built-in reviews from people, so it was giving you social proof. And the big retailers have noticed. You'll find dupe brands, clone brands in Walmart and Ulta. On TikTok Shop, celebrities have partnered with dupe brands, so have really popular influencers. They're getting prime real estate. So dupes aren't just a trend anymore, it's really an economic mood. Because people want the luxury aesthetics, they want the nice stuff too, but they don't want to spend an arm and a leg. And I think the industry is starting to see that and trying to figure it out. And the dupe word is thrown around so much, I think we need to actually define it, because you need the vocabulary, because there are different categories. Most people use dupe to mean a cheaper alternative of something, but that's a little loose. The 4 categories are inspired by, clone, dupe, and counterfeit. Let's start with inspired by. An inspired by fragrance is a fragrance that takes inspiration from a genre, an era, a note family, or a perfumery style without trying to copy a specific product. This is how perfumery has always been done. If you think about when someone says modern, ambery, saffron or something, it's because, you know, ambers are trending, saffron's trending, so you're kind of like in the family of. And in creativity in general, like, you know, they say good artists borrow, great artists steal. Like, everyone's inspired by trends and things that are happening. Like right now, there's the vanilla boom, you know, there's vanilla everything. And I think Iris is gonna be the next one, honestly. I think is the next trend. But those are just not dupes, they're just in the world of. It's creativity doing what creativity does. Second is the dupe. Some would define a dupe as a fragrance specifically designed to smell similar to a more famous, more expensive perfume, sold openly as an affordable alternative. But the branding is its own, the bottle is its own, it also has its own name, but the scent profile is very close to a popular fragrance. Per industry coverage from Alexandria, UK, and clone tracking sites, modern top-tier dupes can hit 80 to 95% similarity to the original. So that's really just chemistry. And we'll get to how they do that in a little bit. And this is where we have a gray zone. We have a gray zone here. 3 is a clone. A clone would be a more aggressive version of a dupe. This is meant to create the scent as close as possible. You see a lot of these type of brands in the Middle East. They've built entire houses around them, and they will openly position a scent as being basically the alternative to another scent, and they may even say that. Sometimes they put their own twist to it to kind of like give it a little bit of a zing, but generally it's pretty much made to be like the more popular version. They still use their own names, their own bottles, their own branding, but they're inching a little bit closer to the original. And number 4 is counterfeit. This is a different category altogether. This is pretending to be like the original, meaning the bottle looks basically the same, the branding looks the same, they stole it, and their goal is to deceive the buyer. So this is not good. Not good. Bad, bad, bad. Counterfeits are illegal almost everywhere. Correct me if I'm wrong, but trademark law protects the name and can also protect bottle and packaging if you submit your mark correctly. So what's important to understand is that a dupe is not a counterfeit and a counterfeit is not a dupe. They're actually 2 different things, and they also have different legal implications. So the question on everybody's mind, so if a dupe smells pretty much close to a $300 perfume, how is it legal? And the answer is so fascinating. I had no idea about this until a few years ago from a conversation with a really prominent person in the perfume world. I think it was 2 years ago. I sat down with Marc Chaya. He's the former CEO of Maison Kurkdjian, the house that makes incredible fragrances, but specifically Baccarat Rouge 540, which is one of the most duped fragrances in all the land. And he said something to me that was so fascinating. To him, the lack of intellectual property protection for fragrances is one of the greatest disservices ever done to the perfume industry and to creativity, really. Perfumers and perfume houses spend a lot of years, a lot of money R&D to come up with creations that people love, actual money. And under current law, anyone with the ability to reverse engineer a fragrance can actually just do that. There's no protection for a formula. They can just sell it under a different name and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. In an interview with The National in February 2025, he said, "It's horrific that today a perfumer is unable to protect their creation and why you have the phenomenon of dupes. It is a fundamental right of a category of creators that is being taken away from them." Let's dig a little deeper. There's 4 types of protection: copyright, trademark, patent, and trade secret. And fragrance has a problem with almost all of them. Let's start with the copyright. So why doesn't a copyright protect a scent? In US copyright law, a work has to be fixed in a tangible medium of expression. Like music has a recording, a book has a transcript. A scent really doesn't have any of those things. It really changes on your skin, smells different on different people, changes in different humidity and temperatures. Legal scholars have written about this for a very long time. The Cronin paper from 2014 put it bluntly: human olfaction is too crude for us to perceive and describe fragrances in anything other than broad terms, which means that scent fails the fixation requirement. No copyright. Let's talk about trade secrets and how they used to protect scent and now they don't. Historically, fragrances and the formulas used to be treated like Coca-Cola, as a trade secret formulation. Locked in the vault, as long as you kept them confidential, someone tried to steal it, you could get them. According to my research, that worked well for most of the 20th century, but stopped working. According to the University of Illinois Law Review, the rise of GCMS technology, that is gas chromatography mass spectrometry, that's a long name, fundamentally changed the game. Now modern chemists can break down a fragrance in a way that they couldn't do 30 years ago to really get down to a precise formula. They are reverse engineering, and reverse engineering is not illegal. So what does IP law actually protect? Trademark can protect your name. For example, you can't just make a perfume and call it Baccarat Rouge 540 from MFK. They'll come get you, and they can. You can also register design so you can protect your bottle. Distinctive packaging is legally defensible, so that's good. And a trademark also covers your logo and brand identity. That's why the counterfeits are illegal and cross the line. They'll get you. But the smell itself, the juice, in most jurisdictions is really no protection. So if you're asking if it's legal, that's why. Most dupe brands can do it because they can do it. And it's the perfumers, the perfume houses, the people who create the actual magic of the juice that lose out the most. So the law is the law, but the question people are asking is, can I also just buy it then? So let's talk about consumers and why they love dupe brands. The economics. I want to be clear, I'm not saying that people are just cheap and they want to take things. I think the economics of fragrance have changed and people want to try more things, but not everyone can afford the $300 bottle. They may save up for it, but they want to try other things. So I think it opens up this space. Some people say that niche fragrances, even designer fragrances, things that they love, the prices keep going up. So a dupe may solve like a real problem from someone. They may get to try on a scent profile that they didn't get to try at a much cheaper price. They may get the full feeling without, the luxury of the bottle and all the packaging and all of it. And if you go on the internet and people say this smells exactly like this $300 bottle, it's because people are looking for that content. So it's solving like a real need for consumers of those products. There's also the conversation about dupes democratizing fragrance and making it more accessible to more people, which I can hear. Not everyone has a department store in their city or town, but they can order a version of a fragrance online and it can get to them easily at a lower price. So for a lot of people, it's not about disrespecting luxury or wanting to steal, it's just more accessible. So if the consumers are not wrong and the dupe brands aren't doing anything illegal, where is the actual issue? For me, it lies in the principle. I've met a lot of perfumers. I know a lot of perfume houses. I've worked with them. And, you know, to create something truly magical and niche and one of a kind, like Baccarat Rouge was truly a creation. Nothing smelled like that before. Changed the game. Duped by 1,000 people. It can take a really long time to like make that. For example, you know, a fragrance can take 18 months to 2 years to 3, 4. Some people work on formulas forever. What goes into it? Sometimes you're looking for a new raw material. The fragrance house has to make a new captive, something really interesting. Lots of R&D, lots of different variations to find something that truly sticks out. It costs millions and millions of dollars in research. And then there's the brief, the sourcing, the testing, the regulatory framework, the packaging design, the storytelling, and then the years of brand building and world building that a brand needs to do to like launch something that truly matters. And to just take that is kind of wild. And imagine being a perfumer and your name is on the bottle and you made it and they took it. That is kind of wild. To a perfumer, it can feel like erasure. Like you're literally like erasing them from their creativity. Like you took their song and you're saying you sang it. And it's like, okay, but did you? Because you didn't. But at the same time, consumers are like, the luxury brands are doing just fine. They're making more and more money. The category's booming. Let me just get my slice of that feeling of that scent in this way. So where is the line? You have people who want something more affordable. You have perfumers who spend a lot of time creating something. What is the line? I can't tell you what to buy, what to do with your own money, because we all work hard for it, but I think you can always have a line. I think I know where my line is. Green zone, if something is trending in terms of like a type of smell, like vanilla is booming and you make something like that, I think that's a-okay with me. It's creativity. If something is too close to the original, saying it is basically that version, even like some of the inspired buys are basically saying we're that, like, I've met the perfumers and I think it's important that they keep their creativity. So I'm not a duper, particularly if I don't know. Like sometimes I don't know, and then don't get me on here being like, but what about this? What about that? I didn't know. And sometimes I want to smell for video purposes so that I can understand what people are talking about, because I do need to like know the full realm. But me spending my money, no. And then of course, red zone, counterfeit. If you're trying to pretend like you are something that you're not, meaning like stealing the whole thing, please, that's a no. So should you buy a dupe? Maybe that is up to you, but you know where I stand with my line. Let me know in the comments where you stand. I understand people have different economic situations and it's made fragrance more accessible, but the closer and closer you get to copying, the closer you're getting to that red zone. But ultimately, you have to buy what you can afford. Don't buy the counterfeits though. Thank you for watching. It's been really nice to do this deep dive. If you like videos like this, let me know. Make sure you leave a like and a comment and also subscribe. Bye everybody.